Alright, so we got the dead body right over there, and the window's wide open, and there's a bloody knife right on the ground. Watson, I could be wrong, but I think this man was murdered!
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. What?
I have a disease in which my colon does not function properly, preventing me from excreting fecal matter. I have to have it siphoned right out. As a boy, I was ridiculed about this. They called me No Shit Sherlock. I thought I was away from it all. I thought it was done. Going into Sherlock Holmes 2, I was definitely very excited because I really liked the first one, and the way it ended got me very excited for the possibility of a sequel, and I really wanted there to be one. I know there were a handful of people who really just didn't like the first Sherlock Holmes, and honestly, at first I was very excited before the movie came out, and then the reviews started to come in. They weren't so positive, they were just kind of average, so I wasn't as excited, but by the time I actually saw it, I was surprised by how much I really loved the movie, and it's definitely held up on repeat viewings. And the trailer for Game of Shadows was actually very enticing, so going into Sherlock Holmes 2, I was definitely expecting a lot, or at least as much as the first movie did for me. I'd actually say this one is probably slightly better just because the scope of the movie is much larger than the first one. There's a much more intricate storyline, which is a lot of fun to see Holmes and Watson and basically the entire cast play around with. Like in the first one, there are times where it does go for flair and flash over what is a really good story. And that's just part of Guy Ritchie's direction because there is a very good script here. I feel like sometimes he doesn't use it to his full advantage, but there's definitely a lot of really well written dialogue which only goes as far as how good your actors are and how good they work together. And I think Sherlock Holmes is a prime example of that because Robert Downey Jr., no matter, even if this was a crappy script, he would have made it very awesome just because he's got a natural finesse about him. It makes him amazing in these kind of eccentric roles, especially working well with the contrast of Jude Law and his character. He's very sarcastic and that does work with Holmes. He's also just a lot more low-key, so it is fun to see them interact. It's the same kind of hysterical interactions they have in the first one. They still have the same amazing chemistry. But the fact that this movie does have flaws because there are times that it's over the top, there are times that things just aren't explained well enough or feel like obvious plot devices. The thing that makes Sherlock Holmes, the first and especially this one, great is that they are so much fun to watch. If you're a fan of mystery crime-solving movies, you'll love this just because it is so entertaining to watch these stories play out on the screen and watch them progressively work through these cases, work through this mystery. It goes along with the fact that it is a lot of fun is that it's not very high tension. They do a better job of making you feel like there's something at stake here, but also you never really feel as if the characters are in any real danger. Everything works together very well in Sherlock Holmes, especially visually, because Guy Ritchie is very good in that department. The movie overall just has this very captivating and, when needed, eerie look. There are also a number of memorable and very well done action scenes throughout the movie. The best way to really sum up Sherlock Holmes is that if you liked the first one, you'll like this one. And actually, this one is slightly better, so you might have a greater chance of liking this one. Really, it's just a fun movie. That's the best way to describe it. I'll give Sherlock Holmes 2 Game of Shadows a 9 out of 10. Oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. It's not like in like 100 or so years people still be saying, "No shit, Sherlock." Come on, that's ridiculous.